let's be real, pelvic floor therapy can be a little bit awkward, but it doesn't have to be. When it comes to pelvic floor therapy, there's two groups of providers, a major group and then minor group. I belong to that minor group, and I'm going to explain to you what's going on here. Pelvic floor therapy happens as a result of the muscles on the inside of your pelvis not behaving right. So majority of providers work on some breathing, and there's a lot of internal work either through the vagina and or anus area to try to address that area. Then in the minority group, I mean very, very small group, such as myself, I think, well, that does not explain why these muscles are tight or weak to begin with. And if the patient is at the mercy of how long my index finger is, then we have a problem. What if the problem is just away from the tip of where my finger can reach, or it's somewhere that I can't reach? Now what? So when you address that question, you see that this is not the solution. So when I start asking myself, what is missing that all of a sudden things are being tight or weak, I see that the answer goes to one situation, and that is pelvic instability. The muscles inside work with the outside environment of the pelvis and what's connected, that's the spine and the lower extremities, to basically create double reinforcement for the pelvis to be stable. And the reason for that is because your pelvis is a foundation to the structure above. The foundation needs to be strong. When the outside environment is not stable, the inside has to make up for what's not happening. And that means alteration from ideal. So as long as those instabilities exist, these muscles have a reason to behave the way they are, that is leading or are leading to the issues you're experiencing. So what we want to do is we want to look into those instability and try to bring proper mechanics of movement in place. A lot of times people go after stretching or after strengthening, and I'm saying both of them are a waste of time when mechanics is not in place. Because when proper mechanics is not in place, that stretching is not going to materialize into long-term solution. And strengthening something without proper mechanics, you're strengthening nothing because the foundation is weak. So instead, I do developmental exercises starting with biological breathing. If you had subscribed to my channel, you would have known what that looks like. But don't worry, we'll put it at the end of we put the video link at the end of this video so you get to watch it. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on all the other videos that I do about pelvic stability, pelvic floor dysfunction, and developmental exercises. So we start with biological breathing, because that is how nature relaxes these muscles and how nature allows these muscles to work together to breathe out. So every breath relaxes and every breath conditions these muscles to begin with. We start with being on the ground when you're not defying gravity, and you learn proper movement patterns. And what I do is we mimic what happens by studying human babies. Every single one of us, without knowing each other, followed the same patterns of movement. We were born barely being able to hold our heads up. We all became running toddlers following the same path. No one taught us anything. Our brain was hardwired that way. Our body parts were hardwired that way. So we just followed that path. Well, if that path created stability to the point where you got up and started walking, why wouldn't that path create the answer for the solution you have for for the problem that you have right now? It would, right? It makes sense. So you learn developmental exercises, you learn what to watch out for, you learn what right looks like, what your version is, how to replace yours with the right, and you hold the solution from this point on. And that is what I do in my practice. So just wanted to let you know that, in fact, pelvic floor therapy does not have to be awkward. It really doesn't have to be. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions for any other videos, use the opportunity comment below, and I'll make sure I read and I respond. Thanks for watching.